All right, this is the second race for the V8 Masters and the Pro Oil Formula Supercars. And there's the Supercars working their way around. Remember that Bradley Fenner and Pierre Pienaar had a lovely dice out there in race number 1. That was behind the top. That was about for P4 and 5 as the V8s rolled through. I was chatting earlier about the chairman of the V8 Masters, that's Sean Moore. He drives the number 1 car. He is the reigning champion. Fabio Tafani is an ex-champion. Earlier on I made a mistake. I said Tafani in car 1. No, Tafani is in car 3. He is a multiple V8 Master champion, but he isn't the reigning defending champion. That is the man in car number 1. That is Sean Moore. At home, it's a second car that's going through your shot for the folks watching the production at home or anywhere else in the world. It's good afternoon from Cape Town. It could be good evening if you are on the eastern side of the planet. It's good morning if you're on the western side of the planet. So thanks for joining us in Africa, in South Africa, or anywhere else in the world.
And happy Mercedes-Benz if you are a Formula One man, with George Russell on the front row of the grid, with Kimi Antonelli alongside him. Isaac Ajar, in the absence of Max Verstappen, that was dropped in the first group of 6. He ended up putting the car into the barrier before he had a lap time up, so that takes him out and puts him to the back end of the pack. So Isaac Ajar coming up ahead of Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, the likes of Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. So well done to Isaac Ajar. So happy Mercedes-Benz Day as we go. Happy V8s and Supercars race number 2.
All right. We watch them come down to the line. The lights are on. And the lights go off now. And away go those V8 Masters, and the hammers get dropped, and the Pro Oils Formula Supercars get underway as we watch the V8s work their way out of turn number 1. Here come the Supercars as they work their way through. I see Pierre Pienaar sits on the outside. That will be Bradley Fenner. That will be in pole position for the Supercars. But the V8s are busy working their way through the kink as we watch this. That's a big lockup there, and that is the 7 car. That's Pienaar. That's there on the inside, and he wants the lead there in that supercar category, and he's got the lead for now. But here come the V8s. It's led by Fabio Tafani, climbing up the hill with Sean Moore in that second position. Gary Thompson sits there in that 3rd place ahead of Dennis.
We got a spinner at the back.
Yeah, we do have a spinner. He's going to rejoin, but he'll drop to the tail end of the V8 Masters.
I think that's probably Tian Myberg that we picked up there on the spin.
Tian Berger.
Tian Berger, should I say. And here comes the Supercars.
Yeah, the Formula Supercars are racing down the Killarney Straight towards Cape Town Corner. It's a lovely, lovely fight going on there in the Supercars, and Pierre Pienaar has lost that lead. He's gone from P1 to P3. He might even lose out to Glenn Phillips. Phillips is going to come through as well. I think it's Carl Halleck that sits there in that lead. We'll have a look-see when they cross the line. That is indeed Halleck that sits out there in P1 in the Supercars. Ryan Catt, Glenn Phillips, Pierre Pienaar, Brad Fenner, and just behind Fenner, it is Nazreen Schloss as we watch these Supercars head out of Blockcoin.
Oh, that's getting pretty tight out that side of the world. But look at this one. Fabio Tafani from the reigning champion. So ex-champion and reigning champion up front. Gary Thompson, once again, Frankie. His name has been mentioned in the front 3, race number 1, and the same scenario here as well.
When you said earlier on that it was Tian Berger, you were quite right, Gaza, with that, because he's dropped all the way down to P15 on the leaderboard, that V8. Oh, have a look at this one. Have a look at this fight. That's a fight for third and a fourth. That is Thompson. Oh, and Dennis Gaiduk. It was between Thompson and Dennis Gaiduk. Gaiduk in the 9 car. And the 9 car gets sent packing there to the infield exit, Cape Town corner.
Well, I don't think he's going to have enough time to get going again before the supercars arrive, because here arrives the leaders in the supercar category are a little change up at the front end.
Yeah, that's Ryan Catt. That's going very slow. As Dennis Gaiduk wants to rejoin, it is Ryan Catt that's going pretty slow, and Ryan Catt is going to probably end up pulling into pit lane. So that's going to be the end of the show there for Ryan Catt, sadly.
Oh, that's going to make for pretty interesting stuff. But the front end of the supercars, it's still pretty close. There's not that much variation in the pace of the front end of the supercar category.
Yeah, as you see them go up towards Castell Corner, it is indeed Phillips, Halleck and Pienaar that is first, second and third in that category. And the V8s are working their way out of Cape Town corner. It's led there by Fabio Tofani. We'll get the V8s on the main straight for you as they head towards the city of Cape Town Bridge. It's Tofani that sits there in P1. It's Sean Moore that's in that second position. It's Gary Thompson that is there in that third place as they head into Blockcoin corner. There is Tofani, there is Moore, and there is Thompson. The top 3 in class and the top 3 overall, racing along the Joubert Straight towards Castrol.
Yep, 3 laps in. We've got 5 to go here. And again, it's a tale of 2 races, basically. You've got the V8 out in front by about 8 seconds. And then it's going to be Brandon Dean leading the rest of the V8s, the supercars later on. And then Glenn Phillips as well. What a performance again he's had, looking to make it 4 out of 4 this weekend for the championship. It's a sensational start to the year.
It is indeed. As we look at this mid-pack of supercars heading towards turn number 1, the leaders of the supercars are already working their way towards Castrol Corner. That is Bradley Fenner that's coming through there. Schloss is inside with their... Well, that's Schloss and Fenner, that's side by side. Then it's Lovett, Leon Chetty in there as well. Remember, Ryan Catt has dropped out the leaderboard. He's not in this race anymore. Neither is Craig Hume, and Tian Berger has also picked up a problem there with that V8 Master of his.
Yeah, you can see them side by side coming through the Sorel sweep. And again, that fascinating little battle that's going on with Nasreen Sloss with Brad Fenner. But here is your mid-pack battle then, as they're coming down the back straight. So that is going to be the likes of Dennis Gaiduk, Kyle Halleck. You've got Pierre Pienaar also in there, as well as Nasreen Sloss. But they're making their way down to Cape Town corner.
Yeah, that is your supercars that's busy working their way out of Cape Town corner. And that would be Kyle Halleck that is sitting out there with Pierre Pienaar just ahead of him. Glenn Phillips leads this trio heading down. So it's Phillips, Halleck and Pienaar that's on your shot there, that's heading into turn number 1, and they are sitting first, second and third in your supercar category. And personal best there for all 3 of them. Then Bradley Fenner coming through as well. Nash is in there behind Fenner. Then it is Richard Lovett that is coming through there just behind Nasreen Schloss. And then, well, that is your top supercars that's working its way around. Here comes your leaders, David, of your V8 Masters and overall leaders as well.
Yep, so that is Fabio Tofani, Sean Moore and Gary Thompson, your podium for the V8 Masters. But here then is, you've also got Brandon Dean, the number 7 car, then Stuart Spooner in the number 55 car, when you've also got Dennis Gaiduk, who'll be coming across the line very shortly indeed. But we go to the exit of turn 1, and then we cut to the Sorel sweep. So this is where the supercars are at the moment, and you get the feeling here, Frankie, it's a little bit of a lull before the storm. Things just quieten down slightly, but maybe not so much for Brad Fenner, Nasreen Sloss and perhaps the Richard Lovett.
Yeah, let's have a look and see at that fight, but we're going to go back to Fabio Tofani. That is, no, that's not Fabio, that's the number 9 car that's on your screen there. That's Dennis Hajduk. And he is way, way down because remember, he lost it there in turn 5. Here comes Glenn Phillips towards us, Carl Halleck coming through, and Pierre Pienaar. That is your top 3 in your supercars. Then you've got Bradley Fenner. Now here behind Fenner is a good one as we wait for those cars to work their way out of block 1 corner. Here comes Fenner. Now behind Fenner, it's Slosh, it's Lovett, it's Chetty coming through there as well. And there is a V8 Master. Well, these are the 2 leaders, as a matter of fact, of the V8 category. That is Tafani and Moore that's carving their way through that group of supercars.
Now that's funny because I was just a way to point out that Sean Moore was just about 0.2 of a second faster than your race leader on that last lap. That would explain it. If there's traffic that they're in the middle, that's certainly come down from 1.6 seconds now to about a second here. So there we go. First to second place there. Sean Moore just exiting stage left here. And I get the feeling with 2 laps to go, this is boiling over. It's still too wide to be a battle just now, as again we get some lap traffic moving out of the way. You're definitely not going to want to be in the way of those V8s.
No, well, not in the way of Fabio Tafani. It wasn't so great for Fabio in general in race number 1. He's sitting out there in P1 overall. You're just going to put a lap there on Fenner. Here comes Moore. That's going to just run around the outside of Bradley Fenner. And then behind that lot, we have got that's Nadine Schloss that's coming through there as they head into turn 1.
Yep, so 1 lap left to go then. Fabian Tafani leading the class rounds as we see some more of the supercars fighting their way through there. And that is indeed Nasreen Sloss in the 24 ahead of Liam Chetty. Richard Lovett dropping down to 13th position there. And the supercars, the pace has been absolutely stellar right now. Glenn Phillips 127. We've got a car off on the inside of turn 2. I can just see it out the corner of my eye. You see the dust getting kicked up. That's a retirement. Looks like a mechanical. Some smoke pouring from the engine of that car there. You can see the driver just getting out, and that is Nasreen Sloss.
That's Nash.
I'm not taking that as a commentator's curse. That was not me.
Oh, that's so sad for Nash. She never had a good outing in general at the last event, and now Nash retires that car, and she's such a confident young racing driver. She loves her sport, and she loves racing these supercars, and not the way she wanted it to end.
Yep, here we go then. Checkered flag is going to come out for your race leaders then. Fabio Tafani comes across the line to win ahead of Sean Moore by just 1/10 of a second. Gary Thompson in the V8 is going to take 3rd position, rounded out the podium, but taking the win for the silver class in V8, it's going to be Brandon Dean coming across the line very shortly in that number 7 car. What a performance for him in that Sispont Transport machine. He comes across the line in just a couple of seconds. There we go. Stuart Spinner takes 2nd place for the V8 Silvers. Dennis Hajduk will take the final spot on the podium for the V8s, but taking the win very shortly, because he's the only man still on the lead lap here, is going to be the supercar of Glenn Phillips here, Frankie.
Yep, and we're still waiting for Dennis Hajduk to finish his race. And Glenn Phillips, as you said, on the lead lap in race number 1, he was the only other supercar driver that was on the lead lap. Here does come the number 9 car. Yep, that's a Dennis Hajduk that finishes his race. He'll finish 6th overall in the V8 Master category. And then there's one more man on track working his way out of Cape Town corner. He wasn't lapped in race number 1. He's not going to be lapped in race number 2. And that is Glenn Phillips. That has made it a double for the day in the Pro Oil Formula Supercars.
So for the least educated opinion on Nasreen Sloss there, it didn't look like it was actually smoke that was coming out that car. It looked like it was steam. I wonder if she's maybe popped a coolant line or there's something happened to the radiator. Hopefully it's just a case of the car overheating and coolant spilling out and being able to get that car back up for a quick fix for next time out. But either way, the way that she was immediately jumping out the car and needing assistance from the marshals we'll wait and see what happened there. But a fantastic race nonetheless for the V8 Masters. Again, it's what we've learned to expect, and I'm delighted that we got the V8 Masters back with us after missing them out in round one. And yeah, great to see the Owen Ashley Challenge, V8 Masters and Pro Oil Supercars making another trip here to Killarney. So we'll get some replays up in a second, but up next we have got, I believe we've got some more bike action, don't we? We've got, no we don't, we've got the Cada's BMW CCCT Race Series, and then it's the Pirellis, the Super Twins and the 300s.
Well, just once again, I did make the announcement before the race. If anybody would like to get involved in the V8s, in any possible way, you can visit their website for contact details and reach out to Sean Moore. And their website is v8masters.co.za.
So here's the replays of that second race of the day for the Owen Ashley Challenge V8 Masters and Pro Oil Supercars. A decent start for pretty much everyone there, but it wasn't without its moments, especially coming through turn 3 there.
Yeah, that was the 9 car of Dennis Hajduk that lost the track there. He did rejoin and he finished the race, but only in P6. Or should I say, that is actually the number 9 car. Yes, that is the 9 car of Dennis Hajduk that went off on the inside exit turn 5, Cape Town corner. There was a V8 that did get lost there on the inside.
Oh, there was contact. There was some slight contact on the front left to the front right of the car that was alongside him, but it was on. I would say it was on the onus of the car that pushed out wide there.
Yes, as I said, there was a V8 that got lost on the inside of turn 4, but it did rejoin, and that is Nash that had something mechanically go wrong with her on the outside to the entrance of Castrol corner. And that is the flag when Tafani came home ahead of Thompson for first and second overall and in class as well.
And again, that final talking point there, because obviously we'd seen the battle coming closer. We didn't fully appreciate just how close they were at the end of the race there. Just 1/10 of a second between first and second in the V8s.
You just saw the V8s go through that's the replay of the start, and now the Supercars go through. That's also a replay of the start of the race. Well, that was the second and final race for Pro Oil Supercars and for V8 Masters, as we now move on to the Cadiz BMW Car Club Cape Town Race Series number 2.